Welcome back to the channel. This is the Action Figure Grader, and I'm going to be out of town when this video airs. I'm going wild boar hunting again. Hopefully I actually get one this time. I struck out in my last trip, and before I left town, I wanted to put together a weekly vintage collection market update for you. So I've got some recent sales for you, and before I dig in, I need to start off with some thank yous and some shout outs. I got a new Patreon. Shelved Scenes. Thank you so much for becoming a Patreon member. And then two of you also sent YouTube supers last week that I wanted to make sure to give a shout out to. Mark Chaplin, longtime friend and Patreon supporter, sent me one for last week's vintage collection market update. Thank you, Mark. Hope all is well with you on the other side of the pond. And SY1958 also sent me a YouTube super. So thank you guys very much for sending those and for the new Patreon supporter. Okay, so we've got some recent sales for the vintage collection. A few more Republic gunships sold. A mouse droid from the SDCC Death Star box set sold, and lots of TVC 1.0 that I wanted to show you guys. So we're going to start off with VC01 Dengar. This is the figure that really started it all, and I think still one of my favorite vintage collection sculpts. It's just an incredible figure, and one of my favorite characters, really, from the vintage Kenner line, too. And this one was obviously a punched example. I don't think there's any unpunched examples that exist out there for Dengar. 88 bucks on this one, free shipping, pretty good deal, and that's kind of right in line with where this one typically sells. It was in really good shape as well. So VC01 Dengar, $88 shipped. And we had another Luke Skywalker Dagobah landing. And this one had the darker blue saber unpunched US card that looked to be in pretty good shape, although the photos were pretty dark. But just looking at it fairly closely, this one looked to be really clean. $82 in an auction, 25 bids plus $6 shipping. And that's one that's really come back down to earth a little bit, despite the awesome card back and being one of, in my opinion, probably my favorite, my personal favorite for the TVC 1.0 and probably TVC overall. I mean, I just love this particular character and card back combination. 82 bucks on that one. This was an interesting one. This is VC05, the AT-AT Commander General Veers, if you want to talk dirty to me. And this one was signed by Julian Glover, who was and still is an incredible actor. And this one says he felt surprise was, I forgot the exact quote. He felt surprise was something. I have to go back and rewatch that scene. Wiser. He felt surprise was wiser. Julian Glover. That was the decision by Admiral, I think Mati. Maybe it was Mati, something like that. I'm misquoting left and right now on The Empire Strikes Back. As you can tell, it's been a while since I've watched the movie. But that was a bad decision by that admiral, and he got choked to death. So I wonder how many different Imperial Army and Navy individuals that made Darth Vader angry because of poor decision-making he force-choked. It makes you wonder how many he force-choked over the course of the movies and in the books and everything. I mean, it just seems like he was very easily to anger. And I understand that. I understand that because I've been that way with my own kids sometimes. But this one was signed by Julian Glover. Really cool item for 150 bucks. I thought that was a really good deal. And just presents nicely with where the signature is relative to, the art on the card back. That's a really nice example there. Again, $150 plus $5 shipping. We had an unpunched Darth Vader name pill from Power Droid, and this kind of starts the Power Droid examples that sold. I think all of these were unpunched examples. A number of these were in my What to Buy video last week, and you guys seem to agree with me because a lot of those did sell, if not all of them. But this one was the Darth Vader name pill, Revenge of the Sith, Anakin, $150 on that one plus shipping. We had an unpunched General Grievous VC17 with the rocket firing Boba Fett offer, and that was the US card. That one sold for $150 as well. And then here was the big one, and I think the third or fourth example of the unpunched Magna Guard that Power Droid has sold for $300, which I thought was a really good deal there, just given how tough it is to find VC-18 unpunched. And if there is an unpunched Magna Guard on eBay, it seems to be this particular seller. He has a limitless supply of these TVC 1.0 that have sold, and this is, I think it's the third or the fourth, I can't remember, but $300 took that home. Here was one that was in my what to buy video, the Super Battle Droid. I thought this was a good deal at $80. Again, unpunched, beautiful example there. I just love the card art on that one especially. The Return of the Jedi Stormtrooper with the prototype FET offer sticker unpunched. That one sold for $90. And I found one other data point that was $85. So this one was $90. There was another one that didn't look quite as clean as this one that sold for $85. Bastilla Sean at $110. That's at the upper end of the range, but I get it because, again, this seller is kind of known for case fresh examples. Slap them in a star case. But you can probably, if you're really patient, you could probably find one in near mint condition for slightly under $100 now. But, you know, a realistic price target to aim for is about $100. Maybe add $10 if you're willing to pay up for a really clean example. Grand Moff Tarkin, this was another one in my what to buy video last week. That one sold for $90. I mean, this one was going for $175 very regularly last year. Maybe even earlier this year. But this one obviously had the Darth Maul offer, U.S. card, unpunched for $90 plus $7 shipping. Jar Jar Binks is one that, you know, is one of those sneaky expensive ones. And this one sold for $150. And that's, again, at the upper end of the range. It does seem like Power Droid tends to command a little bit of a price premium as a seller, but I get it. I mean, he deserves it because he's just got incredible case-fresh examples from the TVC 1.0 line. And again, that one sold for $150. The Sand Trooper, that one I thought was a very good deal at $140 unpunched with, this is the VC 112 version, the Dirty Paint apps. And, you know, I've seen higher prices for this one, even in not as good a condition as this one. So I thought $140 was very fair for that one. Here was the original issue Ahsoka, and you know, we've talked about how much that one has come back down to earth. This one was the US card unpunched, and here's the back of the card. Just very minuscule edgeware to it, but I mean, otherwise, this is just a really great example. And we talk all the time about how far this one has come back down. $179 on that one, free shipping. So not terribly surprised that that one sold, given that even earlier this year, they could be found for a little bit less than that. On to some vehicles. This is going to be a fairly short video, just given my tight turnaround time from last week's video. But two more gunships did sell. Republic gunships, the Toys R Us exclusive. This one sold for $700, which is, you know, maybe you could argue is a little bit at the upper end of the scale, although I have seen them sell for more recently. But, you know, 700 is probably a little on the upper end of the scale. This one was listed for $625 and change, and the box looked pretty good, factory sealed. $625, best offer accepted on that one, plus $30 shipping. So that's kind of in line. You know, $600 to $650 is, you know, top of the head type of estimate for what the Republic gunship Toys R Us exclusive typically sells for, but pretty good deal on that one there. And then we had the Empire Strikes Back packaging for the all-terrain armored transport, again a Toys R Us exclusive. This one sold in an auction for $480. Not perfect box, but you know, pretty good shape. You can see in the photos there in the upper right-hand corner, one little ding there, but otherwise a very nice example, factory sealed, $480 plus $12 shipping. One graded example, this is one I had in my what to buy video. It did sell, a CAS 90 VC43 Commander Gree. That one did sell at $200, best offer accepted, which I thought was a pretty fair deal. 90, 90, 95 were the subscores for an unpunched VC43. And then finally, the Mouse Droid. This one was a big number on the Mouse Droid. It did apparently sell at full price. It was make an offer situation, but it says Anyway, I double checked it on 130 point, and it did show up as sold at $950. To me, that's too high. I would not pay that, given that you can buy the entire SDCC Death Star box set for about, right now, the going rate seems to be about $1,400 to $1,600. So I don't know if I'd pay that $950 for the mouse droid. I think that if you're patient and wait for an auction, you can probably pick this one up for a little bit less than that. Just wait for an auction. But that one did apparently sell at $950. So again, if you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving me a like or subscribing if you're new to the channel. Thank you again to Shelved Scenes, my new Patreon supporter, as well as for the supers from S-Wine 1958 and good buddy Mark Chaplin. Thank you as always for watching, and I'll be back soon.